This podcast is a member of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts and content creators, visit bio.link/Red5.
Welcome to War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, coming to you every week from deep within the Outer Rim, far beyond the watchful ice of the Galactic Empire. Join your hosts, John Mark Tolley, Garrett K. Jones, and Brian Karasik, as they discuss the various facets of the saga's lore, characters, review the films, and discuss every tidbit of news coming out of Lucasfilm. And remember, this isn't just my Star Wars, this isn't just your Star Wars, this is our Star Wars. Indeed. Welcome once again to another fun-filled episode of War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Once again, I am your host, John Mark Tolley, joined by Brian Karasik and Garrett K. Jones, right there in the middle.
We've got this kind of fun little vibe here. Like you, Mark, you've got the hair and the beard. I've got the goatee and the baldness, and then Brian has the baldness and no facial hair.
I'm even running out of my eyebrows.
It's funny. My biological mom posted a picture today. My cousins came up from Texas, and with their little baby, they have a 6-month-old, and I have a picture of me holding it. And the first thing I thought was, "Oh my goodness, I look like a grandpa." I'm like, yes. I'm like, no, I don't like it. And then my mom pointed out, like, well, when you were that age, your grandma was 51. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. My grandma was always old.
If it makes you feel any better, my best friend John, his sister is not even, or maybe she just turned 40. No, she's 39. She's 39, and she is a grandmother.
That's how old my cousin was when she first became a grandma. She was like in
What part of the Appalachians is she from? I'm sorry, that's terribly rude. Cut that out, Brandy. Cut that out.
Nope. We're keeping it. She's from a place called Haines Hollow.
That's pretty good. There's a legitimate town in North Carolina called Lizard Lick. I don't know what I'm being judgmental about.
Yeah. We have a town here. I actually went to school here for 3 years in elementary school called Booty.
The jokes just write themselves.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
I didn't even know there was a town called Lizard Lake until a lot of people already know that there's a town called Lizard Lake in North Carolina because there was a reality show about a tow truck company based in that area. So if you look up Lizard Lake Towing, that's the #1 area. So thanks a lot, Lizard Lake Tow Truck Company, for introducing North Carolina to the world.
You know, I found it very interesting that the South is not very creative with their names. I worked at a restaurant in a town called Fernandina Beach, just about an hour north of Jacksonville. And the restaurant I was working at was called the Down Under Marina Restaurant because it was literally down under an overpass at a marina.
No work was done there. You're right.
No. And I hated working on the deck because it was mosquito season all the time. And the gators would try to come up out of the Amelia River and try to get onto the deck and eat people.
Sure.
As they should.
There's a restaurant in Huntsville, Alabama. I forget the name of the restaurant, but it is known for a hand-painted yokel on the sign out front of it that faces the highway, where the yokel is saying to anyone who drives by, "You don't need no teeth to eat our beef." And I feel like it's written with that accent. And let me say that the beef is delicious. It is true. You do not need teeth to eat that beef. It is that tender. I will say that the price of the beef does not cater to the non-teeth-having community. It is well out of the toothless price range, but it's quite good.
Okay.
Oh, well.
And that concludes our judgmental portion of the show. Let's get on to this episode of the Clone Wars, for which both of you will pay a terrible penalty. You've made a powerful enemy in this one, gentlemen.
we went with the season 2, episode 16, Cat and Mouse, which if you go through and you look at the chronological order of the Clone Wars series, the first couple seasons are really out of sync. And so you actually have to start with this episode in order to understand everything that happens. Because you watch this episode, then you watch one from the first season, and then you watch the theatrical film, and that covers you for like the first 5 hours of television.
In the tradition of Star Wars, you would want to start with the 16th episode of the second season. Naturally, that's
yes
the logical place to begin.
Why we always start with episode 4.
That's my favorite thing about Star Wars is you can really pitch it crazily. Like, so I don't get it. What order was it? The first movie that came out is the fourth movie. The fourth movie that came out is the third movie. This gets crazy. George Lucas is a crazy cinematic Willy Wonka, just like smashing things together. The last movie that came out is like the third and a half movie.
His turkey neck wobbling in the wind. Anyway, so in this particular episode, this is a very interesting episode.
Is it though?
Well, I mean, kind of, sort of, but not really.
This one is not for me. I'm sorry, I have a terrible attitude about this one. I did not remember this at all. And 20 minutes into it, I was like, I remember not remembering this one.
It's
Admiral Spider-Man just does nothing for me. None of the characters are of any use to me whatsoever.
So, the premise of this episode, it starts like all Clone Wars episodes. It starts off with some pithy comment. In this one, the pithy comment is, "A wise leader knows when to follow." And the synopsis is that a separatist blockade surrounds Christophsis, not to be confused with Columbus.
Or Chris Christopherson.
Or Cortosis.
Exactly. Anakin's fleet is tasked with deploying relief supplies to the surface, but they are massively outgunned and outmaneuvered by the skillful Admiral Trench. Obi-Wan arrives and unveils the Republic's newest weapon, a stealth ship. The stealth ship is the last hope at besting the cunning separatist fleet commander and aiding the battered people of Christophsis, though it will never be used in an episode ever again. Or in a film.
I love it when they do that. That's one of my favorite tropes of fantasy.
Yeah. So.
It's the time turner.
Yeah. The one
this would be insanely useful and we'll never hear about it again.
I will admit, Brian, that the episode is a little bit forgettable in the long run of the series. I will say that the thing I hate most about it is that Admiral Trench is basically this spider type alien, and I hate all spiders. So my first thought is burn the MF down with as much fire as possible.
I resent this episode for the same reason in the opposite direction. I think he's an awesome character. He's a bipedal cyborg sentient spider admiral. No combination of him should work. He's awesome. And I've completely forgot he existed. They do nothing with him. He's like that shark guy that I completely forgot existed. The Separatists are full of these amazingly awesome anthropomorphic, like cyborg furries, and we don't see any of them ever again. I love this guy. Or rather, I should love him. Instead, I fell asleep while washing dishes trying to watch this show this afternoon.
Really?
And I am going to stick with calling him Irving Spiderman. Admiral Irving Spiderman.
Because, of course, he's Jewish.
I'm not going to do the voice. Oh,
it's not showing. Hold on.
He's from the Diamond District of New York. I'm just going to say that much.
Oh, wow.
But no, as soon as he came on screen, I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot this guy existed. And he really is a great character concept. I think that's awesome. He's got a lot going for him with, like, the half... Yeah, bring him up there.
There we go.
Yeah. He's really, really cool. It's a really fascinating character concept. I think spiders are really neat. They eat all of my enemies, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So as many mosquitoes as you can kill, I'm here for it, Spider-Man. But no, it was just like a rote paint by numbers, military extraction. I could just see the script, like, open it, interior Republic cruiser. Oh my God, Anakin disobeyed a rule again. It's just not for me.
Wow.
A
So
lot
I
of the
must
Clone
be the
Wars
only one who
episodes.
actually.
And
I must be the odd one out here.
You guys know me. I'm sticking to that's not my Star Wars, not your Star Wars motto. Just because I don't like it, doesn't mean I think it's a bad episode. But it's. Yeah. I did not care for it, and it's well done. Like the animation is on par with the rest of the show. It's just it should be it's disappointing is what it is. The premise of it should be a lot better than what it is. For me.
Mark, what did you think of it?
So I must be the odd one out. I took notes.
Wow.
I went through and I'm like scene by scene, like, all right, here we go. Me. I love the juxtaposition between Anakin and Trench. And like you have Anakin who's very instinctive and willing to take the risk and willing to push the limits. And then you have Trench who's very calculating and calm and patient. I think a lot more patient in the beginning than Anakin is. Although Anakin seems to learn some patience. But even then, he's the first one that's like, nope, we got to decloak, shoot at it. I will say that it ended too abruptly for me. Like, it just is like, it ends and I'm like, oh, that's it? Then I remembered it's only about a 25 minutes.
Sorry, guys, it's been 21 minutes.
He's got to die. That's one thing that really stuck out to me was kind of they almost seemed like opposites of each other as far as their personality and their tactics and how they kind of go about things with Trench and Anakin. And did you notice the line that Senator Organa says to Obi-Wan? He looks at him and he goes, they're wanting to get the
he says you're our only hope.
Help me, General Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Well, like daughter, like father.
I almost did the meme of the facepalm meme. Where,
oh, he said the thing. He said the thing.
Yeah. But actually, my favorite line in there was. Let's see if I can find it. I wrote it down here. When he says, "Slow down and do what I tell you." That seems like a classic Obi-Wan line to Anakin. Just stop. Just shut up and do what you're told.
Always effective too.
And it's more important to save lives than destroy ships.
So,
although Anakin would probably argue that by destroying ships he can save lives.
I think he actually makes that argument.
I think he probably does, yeah.
So, Garrett, you shared a screenshot from a screen grab. I want to share this one from Wikipedia. Check out this guy.
Okay, here we go.
So, if this must be later in his career, I don't know, probably after some damage taken from Anakin, I would imagine. But look at the robot arms on this guy. Like, somebody made a spider cybernetic pedipalp for this guy. It's a great character concept. Yeah. I want to make this guy in Hero Forge. I think it's awesome.
He shows up in I believe it's the last season of Clone Wars, and Anakin basically just goes ham on him with a lightsaber.
Yeah, that does look like someone who has been gone ham upon.
Well, I mean, after this, again, like
completely, like good for him.
He just completely like this is right before he turns to the dark side. So he just I believe it's right before the Bad Batch, or right after the Bad Batch the first Bad Batch episode of that one. I don't remember which one it is, but Anakin basically just like decapitates him
let me
and cuts him up into little bitty pieces.
Admiral Trench is featured in Cat and Mouse. So chronologically, he appears in Cat and Mouse. He appears in Season 7, Episode 1, The Unknown. Season 7, Episode 2, Distant Echo. Season 7, Episode 3, On Wings of Kiridax. and season 7, episode 4, Unfinished Business, where he serves as the primary villain of the final Bad Batch storyline, ending in his final defeat by Anakin.
Yes. Yes.
So, my only, I don't have an issue with the episode per se. I liked the episode for what it was. It was fun, but my biggest concern, and this is something that pops up in all of Star Wars, especially when they're dealing with planetary issues like a blockade of some kind. Why is it the blockade is only on one side of the planet? Three-dimensional space allows you to do all sorts of things, coming in at different trajectories, and they always, and I know it's for the camera, but they always are on one side of the planet. It's like, dude, you've got a ship that can turn invisible, go onto the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
I have an in-universe explanation that is not just me being a wise ass and saying it's because the camera's over there.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't, this isn't canonical, it hasn't been presented, but this is how I picture it.
They forget that space is curved?
Yes. No, when you think of hyperspace as a highway with exits, right? And so the hyperspace has been plotted out where it is safe to exit. But your exit part comes off of hyperspace at this one particular spot. But the positioning of the planet changes. So you have to come out of hyperspace right here. But where the planet is in relation to that might be different. So where you're coming out of hyperspace, they're blockading where you arrive. So like they know where you're going to come out near the planet. It doesn't matter where the planet is. They know where you're going to show up out of hyperspace.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of homework on behalf of the show here, but I'm willing to.
Yeah. There's another podcast I listen to that it's an X-Men podcast, and they have a thing they call a no prize, where there's a question there's a question that needs answered, and someone comes to the answer. There's no prize for it. So, Brian, that is your no prize. That is the no prize answer to this.
That is, just so we know, a callback to Marvel Comics letters to the editor from the 80s, where people would write in and ask questions, and the editor would say, good answer.
John Romita Jr. answering a bunch of stuff.
Your no prize is on the way.
Yeah, so Brian, your no prize is on the way.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, this episode was good, but like it feels very, I don't know, it feels anticlimactic because when the Clone Wars starts off, everything's on Geonosis, and we don't come back to Geonosis until for like several episodes, almost like half a season or something like that.
Well, I was just thinking, imagine going back and watching having watched the Clone Wars through an entire season, almost 2 seasons at this point. And you get to this episode, and it just seems I think it would just seem odd. You've probably been like, "Where's Ahsoka? Why are they back on Kurtosis? Didn't we see this movie and like see this in the movie, like the Clone Wars movie? Like, what is going on here?"
That is, they should really give you some kind of a disclaimer at the beginning, like, "Oh, by the way, this takes place a year and a half ago."
Yeah. Because I mean, we know. I went in knowing, okay, this is the first episode chronologically. But yeah, because
the Clone Wars was fraught for me. I had a real issue with that cinematic release of the first 3 episodes or whatever it is. First off, I don't care for that business model. That's why I haven't seen The Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't want to watch 3 episodes of a TV show in a movie theater. That's not what I go to the movies for. I'm not getting dressed up for it either. That said, I do not think that the way a Jedi receives a Padawan should be equivalent to the way we receive a phone book. Ahsoka shows up, nobody knows she's coming, nobody knows what to do with her, nobody knows who she's addressed to. It's ridiculous. It takes me right out of it.
She knows. dress too.
She does, but neither did. I mean, just assumed that Obi was like, oh, well, very well, Padawan, come with me. And I just love that moment when I think I've maybe mentioned this, that whether she's like, I'm at your service, Master Kenobi, but actually been assigned to Master Skywalker. And that big, like, they both of them just, and it's a funny moment one. And so I did get on board with Ahsoka eventually, but the Clone Wars started slow for me. And this episode harkens right back to that slow start.
What I think is funny though is like the Clone Wars animated series treats the knighting of Anakin Skywalker in the Genndy Tartakovsky miniseries as a form of canon without formally addressing it, because at the end of Attack of the Clones, he's still considered a Padawan. He still has his braid. When we first are introduced to him in the Clone Wars, the braid's gone. He's growing his hair out. He's in that weird, Brillo pad hair stage between, that he was in between episodes 2 and 3.
That's a nice touch. Everyone in the military has had that, like, I wish my hair didn't look like this moment.
And so he, like, it's this weird vibe because, like, if you watch this in chronological order without seeing the Genndy Tartakovsky miniseries and seeing that knighting ceremony that takes place, which almost feels a little murder roomy-ish, like Anakin is invited into a dark room and all of a sudden he's surrounded by lightsabers and people not showing their faces, which feels very dark side-ish for the Jedi. But without that, we have no idea that he was granted the rank of Jedi Knight, and the fact that within just a few weeks of the Clone Wars starting, he's given a Padawan. A few weeks or a few months, whatever it is. And it's like, really? The guy who frequently decided to do his own thing, the guy who frequently broke rules, the guy who frequently lost his lightsaber or got it damaged or stole vehicles, you want that guy to teach a teenager? That's like putting a 22-year-old fresh out of college teacher into a classroom with a bunch of high school seniors. That's a bad idea.
Would you agree it's also like putting a beautiful senator alone with a young and impressionable Jedi as her only source of protection and comfort?
As someone who dated and then later married a woman who was 8.5 years older than me, I think it was kind of cool. But no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I am older than my wife by that same margin. I'm just saying the Jedi are not making good decisions about Anakin and his female companions at this point. They just keep throwing inappropriate relationships at him. They're like, something is going to give with this kid.
Let's be honest. Like, in Anakin's graduating class of Padawan, we don't see any other female Jedi that are age appropriate for him. On top of that, it's an organization that does not allow fraternization.
Well, that's debatable. No attachment doesn't mean no hookups.
Well, I mean, I guess that works for the Arabesh bros, but they don't have Greek.
I just realized that absolutely every relationship that Anakin has with a female is fraught with peril and forced upon him.
I know, he was forced upon his mother. Wait, that came out.
No, I mean his that doesn't count. I mean, like, his relationship with Padme is absolutely destined to like something inappropriate is going to happen there. And then just in case it doesn't, they're like, oh, by the way, here's someone way too young for you. Like, throw her at him, too. Like, I think Palpatine's behind the whole thing. I'm writing up a fan theory. Excuse me.
You might be onto something.
Getting back, one thing, did we lose Brian?
All of a sudden, he got disconnected. What happened?
Oh, no! Brian!
You know what? I think Lucasfilm was onto him. He figured something out that they couldn't. Oh, he's back.
I was just kidding. Like, I was going to go write that theory right now.
Oh.
I should have just like. Great fan theory. Be right back.
we thought We thought maybe Lucas was on to you.
It's like signal cut. It's funny.
Getting back to the episode,
It's an excellent idea that I had.
one thing I was really disappointed in is you finally have a separatist leader, General Admiral, whose name is not Grievous, who's somewhat actually competent, and we get 20 minutes with him, and then he's gone for like because he's an actual competent commander who seems to have a real tactical mind, and we get one episode with him. Well, later on we get more, but that's not for like a decade before we finally.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yes, because he was such. I mean, not just the visual concept of him, but like how methodical he was. The fact that I think that's the other thing I noticed in the episode was you get the feeling that Anakin is fighting for a cause, and the cause is not necessarily the Republic, because I think even by this point he could care less about the Republic. There are people that are dying down there. He needs to help them, and I don't think Trench isn't fighting for a cause. He could care less about the Separatist cause. He's fighting because he loves to fight, because he loves that sort of tactical. He looks at it like a chess game. Like, how can he move the pieces? And
he's in it for the thrill of the hunt.
Yes.
I agree with you, and I think that a lot of the great characterization that comes out of Anakin throughout the Clone Wars series, like you can see it all stem from the trauma that he's dealing with, because he still has that unresolved trauma about his mother dying, and there was nothing he could do about it. And here he is throwing himself headlong into this fight with a stealth ship, trying to go head to head with a battle cruiser, and because ultimately what it comes down to is he's not going to repeat the mistakes that he made with his mom.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Brian is there furiously typing away and writing.
I'm telling you that Palpatine had this all lined up, absolutely certain that Anakin was going to fall to the dark side. He needed a feminine energy in Anakin's life to crack the code, and that's how they did it. He had to have a young woman or an older woman that Anakin cared for and would thereby impregnate. That was the key. He had to have him impregnate someone. So obviously Padme was the preference because that would get out of the way quicker, because absolutely not going to impregnate Ahsoka until she's 18. So give that a little while.
That would be
I don't know. How old is 18 in Togruta years? Togruta lived to be about like 120, I think.
Yeah, but it still would have felt very Woody Allen.
I used to do bits where I would drunk dial people as Palpatine, and one of them I pretended to call Kenobi, and I would pretend to be Ahsoka, but I forgot her name. Like Kenobi, pick up. It's the Togruta, the little orange one, It's her. Pick up. It's not really her. I'm just kidding.
We should do an entire Star Wars Crank Yankers episode.
No, listen, Kenobi. When you're done staring into the middle distance nobly, I'd like to ask you what were you thinking, hiding that boy with Vader's only living relatives on his home planet? It's insulting, is what it is. He's gonna find that boy in a week. Maybe a month. He's not terribly bright.
Excuse me, Your Majesty. I have to say though, Vader did mention once that he hated sand, so I thought that would be a perfect place.
Well, honestly, in hindsight, I did underestimate you, Kenobi. Anyway, 20 years went by just like that. It never did find him. Her boy had to come get him. Anyway, I love that. And also, I'd call Yoda and hassle him. When you're done smoking up that Dagobah dynamite, give me a call. It's been so long, Yoda. There's nobody to talk to. Vader's no conversationalist at all.
Oh, you're back on you.
That's good. It would be funny. A whole episode of Crank Yankers. I love that.
That would be so good. We've got Kenobi. We've got Yoda. We've got Palpatine. Let's do it.
Yes.
I know a pretty good Luke I could get to dial in too.
Oh, that would be great. We just randomly call into the radio.
See, I was looking at the episode order of Clone Wars. It is insane. How did they expect anybody to have any sense of, again, I guess war is hell, but for God's sake, like, give us some kind of a guidebook. You got to ask. It was like this secret code book of like, well, I cannot get over that the chronologically the first episode is the 16th episode of season 2. It's outrageous.
And then the second episode is the 16th episode of season 1. And then the third episode is an entire movie that runs for 90 minutes. And then you jump to season 3.
Okay, not to harp on it, but it took me a little while to get into the Clone Wars. The animation style is a bit of an acquired taste, I will say.
I mean,
but once I acquired it, I've seen some amazing, like, there's cosplayers who make like the Kenobi beard out of like foam, so they look like the cartoon guy. I love that. It's really I think it's an important aspect of the saga. And I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about these live action Clone Wars flashbacks in Ahsoka 2 in the trailer for the next season?
I'm digging it. I think it's a great.
I like it. Yeah, I loved it in the first season. Yeah.
What was that one?
Yeah, I loved it in the first season. I said I loved it in the first season. I don't have to say though, I enjoyed the Clone Wars animation. Like you said, I definitely got used to it. I liked it a lot better than the original Clone Wars shorts. I never really got into that style of animation.
I want them to come back and do like a crossover with the Powerpuff Girls.
Well, the thing I liked about the animation for the 3D episodes is that they took what the characters look like in the Genndy Tartakovsky cartoon and they made that the overarching style for the show. That way they work in tandem. Like you're already familiar with watching the 2D animation on Cartoon Network in those miniseries episodes, and then you get to the computer animated, and it just takes those and puts them into a 3-dimensional format. It was great. I mean, it made Count Dooku's beard look like a lethal weapon for sure, but it worked because it translated over very nicely. I think. And
Tyrannus has killed more men with his beard than Luke Skywalker kills with his lightsaber.
To be fair, Luke Skywalker has killed more people with a proton torpedo. And actually probably has the highest kill count of anybody in Star Wars in the canon.
Poe Dameron tries pretty hard. Poe Dameron kills a whole lot of people with a walkie-talkie.
He won't get it. Because somehow Poe Dameron did not get demoted.
Somehow Poe Dameron did.
The ranks of the Resistance are convoluted to me and very frustrating. Like after decades of Star Trek's rigid and recognizable exact Navy ranks, it's very frustrating to me to wait. He's a commander, but a captain, but one is some are senior to and. Now that's an army where there's a general in there. It's very that's why I just skip right to the Emperor. That's right. Like who can keep track?
Yeah. I'm really curious as to how Lando got his commission. Did he buy it? Like, how's that work? Because
he stole it. He took some rank insignia off some guy's drunken body and stuck him on. Like, hey, I'm General Count Racia.
Steal it. He probably cheated in a game of sabacc.
It's not stolen valor. It's exactly right. I won it off him at a game of cards where I was cheating valor.
Here's the pink slip for my commission in the Rebel Alliance.
I don't know if that's transferable, but okay. I saw a great idea. Not my idea, but I fully support it. A TV series where every episode, it's a Lando series, every episode is Billy D. Williams who's sitting in a bar playing sabacc or whatever, and he starts telling a story, and then it shifts into, and now it is Donald Glover doing it.
Yeah. I think I've said that idea before in the past too. That I like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a very fun premise.
And I don't even care about Lando, but I would watch the hell out of that show because I do care about Donald Glover.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the best parts of Community, and once he left the show, it just wasn't the same.
I heard him. I don't know if this was staged, but I heard him on a podcast discussing his younger years when he was pretty harshly bullied. And he realized in real time in that interview that his Instagram or his Twitter handle was Don Glover, which also spells Dong Lover. And he was like, it was right there. My whole life. All my high school bullies missed it. I want to go back and tell them all. And speaking of bullies, guys, did I ever tell you about the fortune teller thing? You know what I'm talking about? The little origami fortune tellers that kids play with?
Yeah, my daughter still does that.
You haven't told us about this story, I don't think.
Okay. So this is in hindsight, it was not a good afternoon, but I love this story in hindsight. In seventh grade, I had a bit of a social penalty to pay for the everything about me, and at one point, a girl in my class came up to me with one of these things, and she said, "Brian, let me tell your future." Now, guys, this was 1987. And a D&D playing Star Wars nerd who's good with a yo-yo and rides a unicycle doesn't get a lot of rhythm from a cheerleader. And this is literally what was happening. A cheerleader was initiating eye contact and conversation with me. There's no way I thought it could be a trap. Don't skip ahead. So she does the little fortune teller thing with me. Like, okay, cool. Like ORANGE. Peel it back. You're a nerd. Oh. And she's, that's weird. Here, try it again. Okay. She has made this just for me. Almost everyone says, you're a nerd, you're a geek. The only one that doesn't say one of those alleges an incorrect statement about my sexual preference and choice of identity. Now, part of me wants to say, oh, she took the time and, put that much energy into it. No, she was just really, really into bullying me. And that is some quality bullying. And the funny part of this story is about 25 years later, based on a Facebook group of alumni of that high school, I got a message from that girl. Just a, hey, like some comment. And I said, it's funny you reach out because do you remember? And it took her 3 days to respond. And she said, I hate that you remember that because I think about it once a month. Aww. And she said, I'm so sorry. She said, I don't know what was the matter with me. And I was like, please, I think it's funny. Like, it's a great story. I was like, yeah, it was a bit of a bummer at the time, but like, I was a nerd. Like, it's okay. It's fine. I'm like, we're not friends and don't talk, but I thought it was couldn't have asked for a better ending to that. And in hindsight, I kind of want to go back in time and put my arm around young Brian and bully him too. Because he had it coming.
I had...
With his denim tote bag from Whole Foods full of D&D hardbacks that he carried around.
I had it wasn't the same situation. It wasn't with one of those little fortune teller things, but like my 8th grade graduation dance, like I asked 3 different girls to dance. First one said, I'm getting ready to go take pictures with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay, have fun. The second girl said, I'm going to go take pictures with my friends, and then went somewhere else. The third girl at least had the most honest response. She laughed at me and then walked away.
It's a hard knock life, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
The things we do for our craft.
This segment of the therapy session is brought to you by...
It's brought to you by a series of books written by me that are super unpopular.
And who is this guy Rorschach, and why does he keep drawing paintings of my parents yelling at me?
Really? That's what you're seeing? I'm seeing like spiders trapped in houses that are on fire.
Again, to circle back to Admiral Trench, I wish we saw more of him in the Clone Wars, and I didn't know he's in Bad Batch because I have got to get back into that show. I think he's a great character.
He's not in
I want to learn more about him.
He's not actually in Bad Batch. He's in the final season of Clone Wars.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
How'd I miss that?
Season 7.
There's a whole lot of Darth Maul in that one. It's distracting.
Yeah, it's during the Bad Batch arc of season 7.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Where those characters are introduced.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. It's
Hold on one second. I have to use the little spider's room.
It's gonna leave webs all over the place, like Tobey Maguire. So
it's a terrible scene.
Oh goodness. Speaking of nerd stuff, I think at some point after the new year, we need to play this
Okay.
for an episode or 4.
Yeah.
It would be so much fun.
Have you ever been a participant in a role-playing, like online role-playing group or like a Facebook RPG group?
Yeah, I was for D&D actually up until like January, February of this year. I was part of a group. We were doing the Curse of Strahd module for D&D.
Oh, good for you.
And then we got into it, and then like one of the guys was having some changeover with his job. Another guy's computer got busted, and then it was just me and our DM, and we couldn't really do anything with just me. So
Don't do it.
you know. But I had fun with it.
I have returned.
I played briefly into the Temple of Elemental Evil when that first came out.
Mhm.
And I think that module should have been printed with the last half of it blank. Nobody ever got that far. Like, it's good. You get it from here. Of course, my party had a total party kill because my character was a secret cultist of Zugmoy, and it didn't work out.
That makes sense.
Trust my character is going to be a secret cultist of somebody. I even played in a text-based mud, and my character was like a paladin who was also secretly the head of the Order of Wrath, the evil goddess the evil goddess of Wrath. It was great. Oh, it's great. Some of those text-based muds, you get amazing storytelling, but you also have to devote 16, 18 hours a day.
Yeah, character I was playing was a Dragonborn.
Oh, there you go.
I played a Dragonborn before. I also one time played a Goliath.
Oh, those are cool.
Who was married to a halfling.
Hey-o.
That's the way to do it.
There you go.
Hey, baby. I'm excited about Dark Sun coming back to 5th edition, although, of course, this D&D player is going to cry about anything, so we're going to leave that untouched. I really enjoyed I don't know, I played a lot of D&D when I was a kid, but I think it's hard to get into like a Star Wars roleplay event. Like I've been in a couple different role-playing like Facebook groups, and you just can't do a Sith roleplay. It just doesn't work out for every reason that Darth Bane said, basically. Like, this is why. The last one I was in, like, I laid out my character. I like Darth Carosis is an established character in my my history, and laid him out like he just like lives in a little sort of abandoned keep. He's a hermit, and he's a hermit wizard in Star Wars trapping.
That makes sense.
Sith Master died in a hyperspace accident, so like nobody to kill. I guess I'm a Sith Master now. Like nobody promoted me. I guess I'll just keep reading. And so and adventures ensue in the course of seeking out artifacts and lore and whatever. Well, so I come up with like my equipments, like some clothes and a lightsaber and a speeder and like a secondhand beat up starship, right? It's not too powerful, not too much. Okay, introduction and post. And 5 minutes later, here comes another new player. And he's got 2 Death Stars that are contained within a Death Star carrier that shoots Death Stars. It's just like
What?
crazy. And he like has some sort of a portal generator that opens a portal from another galaxy, and there's like stargates in there somehow, and like replicators, and like, dude, like a character aspect of my character in the West End games, and then again in the D20 games, is that Darth Corosis's connection to the dark side causes inanimate objects to corrode and wither at an advanced rate in his presence. Nothing game affecting, nothing that can like be used in a defensive way. Just like I have to replace my stuff more often. It's an inconvenience, but it's a nice character trait. I think it's a cantrip that makes things worse for me. And I thought that might be a little much. So I'm like asking the game master, is this going to be okay? Like, is this too much? He's like, no, it's fine. And like, here comes Mr. 2 Death Stars McGee. I'm like, oh, geez, like I didn't know I could have 2 Death Stars in my backstory. That's no fair.
That's what as the game master, I'd just be like, no.
Handheld Starforge, like, give me a break.
Yeah.
The guy literally had a blaster that fired a Death Star cannon. I feel like you're getting a little Cartman here. My power is to have all the powers. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, I would like to see more of this tarantula species. I like an admiral in any context. I think that's cool. I like an admiral. Even when I was playing with G.I. Joes, I had an admiral on my fleet. My Moray commander was an admiral because I had 2 Morays and 4 water moccasins. I like the naval stuff. I should have enjoyed this episode more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Admiral Spider-Man. I just didn't enjoy your introduction.
So if we were to give it a letter grade, we'll do stars. 5 stars being the maximum. Mark, we'll start with you. How would you grade this particular episode?
For me, I'd say 2.5.
Okay.
Like, it was a mid-tier episode. I like some of the concepts of it. I think I would have liked to have them explored it more. Like, I think it would have been, if this would have been a 2-part episode, to really get into the similarities and the differences between Trench and Anakin, and their kind of like, because it just seemed to like you build up this tension between the two, and the kind of chess match between the two, and Anakin's just like, lol, I win.
Well, that's most of Anakin's career.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it was an okay episode. Like, I enjoyed it. So yeah, 2.5, high 2.5.
Brian, what about you?
I want to go 2. I didn't like it as much as Mark did, but I'm not mad at it and hate it. I'm mostly disappointed, and I wanted it to be better. It had its high points, but most of its drawbacks were I saw what I thought it could have been, and it wasn't that. So you could do a lot worse than me wishing that you were a better show.
Okay. Yeah, I'd also give it a 2.5. Just because it wasn't all that memorable of an episode. I mean, yeah, the stealth ship is cool, but again, it never really gets used after this, which is kind of a shame because it would come in handy in a lot of other skirmishes throughout the Clone Wars. So averaging this out, this episode gets us a whopping 2.3.
I would have loved to seen this in chronological order because it does introduce relationships that factor in.
Yeah.
Or would have factored in nicely a year and a half ago when they were relevant.
What's interesting is we actually get a better read of Admiral Yularen because he's working very closely with Anakin, and he makes a comment in this episode to Obi-Wan where he's like, it's summed up to, I have to work with this kid. And that was his whole attitude going into this, and seeing how like he thought Anakin was just some showboater, and it had nothing to do with that. It was Anakin he wanted to make sure he helped as many people as possible. Ships be damned.
I like Wolf Yularen because he has another incidence of Star Wars names where people were named at birth an appropriate name for their adult career. I think that's always fun. What shall we name the boy? Well, in case he becomes an admiral, we'll name him Wolf. We need to name him something manly, and it's Steel Hammerhands.
Fisto! Wait, no.
I'm still a fan of. I want this to please make this canon. Someone listening to the show, like Dave Filoni, big friend of the show, a rebel pilot named Lance X-wing Pilotopoulos. It's gotta happen.
Don't give him ideas. Character might just look like him with a cowboy hat.
Jason Mantzoukas can play him. He's Greek.
Dude, I love Jason because he's so funny.
Jason Mantzoukas is my spirit animal, particularly on this episode where you made me watch this. Oh boy. It's my best Jason. What's up, jerks? Anyway, I do appreciate you reminding me of this episode because while I didn't like it, I like things that are in it, and so it was good to watch it again. And I had completely forgotten about Cyborg Spider Admiral, and I do like him as a concept.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that just about wraps it up for us, guys. Let's start off. Brian, where can people connect with you?
Connect with me at the Sith Library and Archives on Facebook. I post as Darth Carosis out there. We present a lovingly curated collection of Sith art and literature. You can also find me at The Galactic Empire. Also on Facebook, I post as Lieutenant Commander Merryweather, the Public Affairs Officer of the Imperial Star Destroyer Crotalis.
Cool. All right. As for me, you guys can connect with me on Instagram and X at GKJ_publishing, where I talk about my books and all the things that I write. I also talk about my show, The Right Way, which has been kind of on hiatus for the last few months. It will be coming back in the fall. And I have another show on Feast of Fandoms called Snackame. We have a new episode coming out this Friday where we are going to be discussing Inuyasha and eating some really delicious snacks. So check us out on that all-new episode. So, yeah.
All right. As for us right here at War of the Stars, you can get in contact with us a few ways. First of all, you can email us at warofthestars1@gmail.com. All other social media, Blue Sky, Instagram, X, TikTok, the YouTubes, is at War of the Stars 77. Check us out all those places. If you want to support the show, Ko-fi.com/War of the Stars. That is ko-fi.com/War of the Stars. Or go to warofthestars77.printify.me to check out all the cool merch that we have, and more merch coming soon. Yeah, as soon as I get that all figured out. We are a proud member, as Garrett mentioned, of Feast of Fandoms. If you're on YouTube, you can see him going down there, all the shows that are on the Feast of Fandoms channel. Check it out. A lot of good shows. We are also a member of the Red 5 Network. I believe it is bio.red5.com, but don't quote me on that. You can hear it on the bumper at the beginning of our podcast, the Spotify version of the podcast. Wow, I can talk today. Wow. That will do it for this week. Check us out next week as we review The Ninth Jedi. Another review. That'll be fun. As always, remember, this is not just my Star Wars. This is not just your Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. Until next week, may the Force be with you.